Ashe, Ashe, it's a beautiful day. How's it going? How's it going? So, here, guys, I had just come from the gym. I did a video in the previous workout when I did the Body Web X workout for the first time, and it had my body like the muscles was muscling, okay? But I came home and got into the garden because, as you know, when you work out, you are filled with lots of energy, and it's just a good dopamine release for you to have those happy feelings, those motivational feelings to get things done. I came to the garden to do some spring cleaning because there were some things that weren't prospering, that were slowly dying off, like this winter squash here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up because although the leaves got very big and it was flowering and doing a lot of great things for the garden, it did not give me any fruit, and it was starting to die off, I guess, because like I said, I don't have a watering system in place right now. I'm just going day by day, and I have to get the water from in my kitchen and go back and forth. And I think it was not getting enough water, so the plant is still green, but it was slowly dying off. So I decided to just pull it out of the compost where it was growing from. So I'm putting on my gloves here, and I am about to rip this out of the compost and add it to the new compost that's back behind me against the brick wall that I just started. So here I'm just taking the squash out, ripping it out, and then I'm going to put that in the compost. Like I said, the leaves were really big, the flowers were big and beautiful, but it was not giving me any fruit. And I'm thinking because the watering was not as it should have been. But like I said, I don't have a green thumb. These are just experiences, and I won't know what works and what will not work if I don't try. So this is just me. That is a petunia that started growing. So I'm going to leave that because they did get really big at one point. And petunias make the garden look really pretty, especially when they flower. And I'm just getting all the dead stuff out that does not belong. This was like a spring cleaning day for me. Gardening really has took my mind and my energy to another level. Connecting with Mother Nature helps me stay grounded. I am a water sign, and I can be too fluid and too into the cosmos and too all over the place, and my thoughts are everywhere. So this helps me gather my thoughts. This helps me stay focused, and this helps me stay grounded. And this was the Friday before the new moon in Taurus that we just had. So this was helping me prepare for that grounding energy that we um, were preparing to harness, that we have harvested and harnessed now that I'm recording and taking the time to talk about what I was doing in this video. Like I said, gardening is not, I didn't go to school for it. I didn't do no research. I just started saving my seeds, building compost, and just growing. And I'm going to do a garden tour for you guys so you can see all the beautiful things that are blooming in the garden. And I just started building my compost, y'all, and stuff just started growing out of the compost. I guess because the soil is so nutrient rich and it has so many natural organic pieces in it that it just creates new life, and that makes me happy. Here I am just looking at my onion bed. I have some green onions growing there, and I'm just pulling the weeds from around that area. I have some spinach growing as well, but this is just me doing some weeding with my hands. I don't use any chemicals, or I don't sprinkle anything on the garden because I just want to do everything natural and organic. I am adding the stuff to the compost, and I think I am going to start having a conversation with the guys who cut the lawn out in the apartment complex. And they were asking me what I was growing, and I was just explaining to them what I'm growing this season, and just thanking them for not cutting my stuff down when they're doing the lawn work for the apartment complex. They are very respectful. And I was just giving them a tour of what I was growing and what was waiting to be sprouted. and just giving my gratitude because, like I said, they could easily cut my stuff down when they're doing their yard work, but they don't. So I appreciate that. And I always keep them in the loop of what I'm growing because I believe that it motivates others when they see me in this kind of setting, an urban, low income setting, and growing my own food and really attempting to just create harmony in a place of chaos and peace in a place of chaos and creating a new environment in the midst of the environment that I am in. I like to say we must grow where we are planted, and that's very important. We must grow where we are planted. And I have been planted here for almost 4 years, and I am continuing to grow and evolve. And I'm so grateful. I'm not who I used to be. And I know that where I'm destined to go is definitely in divine alignment and on divine assignment and in divine timing. I decided to take the gates that were holding up the winter squash and move them over to the summer squash to just get them off of the grass so it's easier for them to trim or do what they need to do, but just getting it out of the way so they don't cut the leaves down. Because these squashes, the leaves are very beautiful. The leaves get very big, the flowers get very big, but it could overpower the area if you don't have something like controlling it, like a trellis or some kind of gate. I use what I have. I don't go out and go spend a lot of money on a lot of garden stuff because I am a girl of consignment, of thrift, of recycling. So if I can use what I have, that's what I'm going to do. Here, I believe I am weeding as well, pulling some weeds up that were starting to grow around the things that I had planted. I hadn't weeded in a couple weeks, so the weeds were starting to come back, and I decided to pull them up with my hand. I moved that. Those are some seedlings with some new food seeds that I planted a couple weeks ago. I think I'm going to put those on the porch so they can be closer and I can nurture them better and they can get more water and just more care to see if we get something that's sprouting. The other day I was outside and I seen that the senna seeds that I planted that my soul sister gave me, they were starting to sprout. I had 2 little sprouts coming out, and he is trying to do a lineup, so I'm going to move out of his way while he lines the grass. And yeah, that was pretty much what I did in the garden today. I let him clean up, and I'm going to cut off my footage. I'm moving this on the porch, and I love you guys.